Hello, I'm Dennis Marks, Associate Professor of Jazz Studies at the University of North Florida in Jacksonville, and the Director of Jazz Ensemble 2. This certainly has been an interesting, challenging semester with the COVID-19 global pandemic. While our school is offering some face-to-face ensembles, I decided to utilize a completely remote format for Jazz Ensemble 2. The idea of this jazz ensemble was to record a variety of jazz band material where all of the students would record their parts individually and then send them to me through email. Fortunately, the drummer in my band, Ivan Beletsky, is very advanced as far as the computer and the software for putting together these tracks. So we were able to put together a bunch of completed songs. Shortly after the semester began, I was contacted by Michael Giovenco and Mauricio Lovera about producing some video content to document JE2 this semester. The result is this interview package that you are about to hear. The music you will hear in the background was taken from our recorded repertoire this semester. I just want to say that I am so proud of each and every member of my band for continuing to be dedicated to music and hard work during these difficult times. Our whole goal was to take a negative situation and turn it into a positive one. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy these interviews with some of our students.
My name's Ivan Beletsky. I'm a drummer, percussionist, and producer. And this semester I'm playing drums for JE2 and also helping them to produce everything.
Sweet. So how have things changed this semester, and what's your main role within JE2 this time around?
Well, obviously, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, everything's remote. And so with JE2, we've gone to producing everything. JE2 is the only remote jazz ensemble this semester. And my role is to help Dennis produce the entire thing. We've completed 4 tunes already this semester. 2 of them were student compositions from 2 seniors in the jazz program. And we're just finishing up our 4th one this week. So.
Okay, that's awesome. So you guys are completely remote?
Yeah, completely remote.
Okay, nice. So you take all the audio. Do you get good audio? How does that work? Like, take me through your process of how things go on the post-production side of things.
So with the audio, it's actually very different. It's different from person to person. Some people have mics, some people have nice mics, some people don't have very good mics, and some people record with their phone mics. So it's very different with in terms of audio quality. Since I'm the drummer, it's kind of important that I have a really nice recording setup. It would be kind of weird if the drummer was recording with an iPhone microphone or something like that. It would just sound really unprofessional, as opposed to just a few horn players using an iPhone mic. But really what happens is I'll learn the tune within a day or 2 that Dennis sends out the song. And then I'll record the drums with a metronome. And then I'll make that track and I'll send it to the rest of the band so that they have something to reference and practice with. And then the rhythm section, so the guitar player, piano player, bass player, they'll record their parts to me with the metronome. And then when those parts come in to me, I'll make that rhythm section backing track with the metronome and then send that out to the rest of the horn players so that they can record their parts. And that kind of makes it really easy for them to reference everything and kind of get as close to playing as with a real band as possible. After they send all the parts to Dennis, because Dennis Dennis Marks is the professor of JE2, the director. So once Dennis gives the okay to the players, he'll send me the tracks. And then I basically import the audio files into the audio editing software, which in this case is Logic Pro X. And then from there, I'll just start the mixing and production process, which includes blending the audio files together, the volumes to get a good balance, EQing the individual tracks to make sure that their frequency spectrum is how I want it to sound, and so that it sounds balanced with the rest of the other tracks. So reverb is a really important part of the process for me on my end of things, because it creates the illusion that we're not recording everything in our bedrooms. And I have a really good reverb software that works really well and helps me to create that sound that creates that illusion. And probably the most important aspect to the production process is pan, which basically separates the audio so that it doesn't sound like it's just coming straight at you right in front of you. It kind of separates it, and it makes it sound like the band is spread out on a stage instead of just coming at you directly through a speaker.
Mm-hmm. So did any of this recording process, was that any of that happening last semester, or is this all a result of COVID-19 and adapting?
It's pretty much a result of COVID-19 and the pandemic. Last year when the pandemic hit and we had to go remote, JE2 didn't really do anything remote. I mean, not in terms of production-wise anyways. Dennis Marks, the professor, would just assign us tunes to record, and then we would just send him our parts of the tune, and that would be it. It was be sort of like a transcription sort of thing. There wasn't really any production involved.
Mm-hmm. What was the easiest thing about switching over? Like, is there one thing that's a lot easier with this process?
For me, personally, it's a lot easier to critique my own work and fine-tune it so it sounds the best it could possibly sound at my level. I like the ability to get up and go have a bite or take a break whenever I want to. I kind of have the freedom to create my own schedule, but within reason, of course, because you can't just keep at a leisurely pace. There's due dates. It's a little bit more comfortable being swamped with work at home as opposed to being swamped with work on campus.
Mm-hmm. What was the biggest hurdle as far as the transition? I mean, it's hard to even compare the two, I guess, because it was really a whole different beast. I mean, live jazz music versus recording it. But it sounds like you are taking things into your own hands and creating a space, which is awesome.
Well, honestly, the biggest hurdle is the time sink that it created. Still, most people don't realize how much time this process takes, because you have to realize that JE2 is not really a professional band, it's students.
Thank you for coming on air with us, Ivan. I won't include that. I think we're good.
My name is Nigel Cox, and I'm a junior at UNF. I'm a jazz study major with a certificate in technology. So
Awesome, beautiful. So to start off, what instrument do you play in JE2, and how long have you been playing it for?
I am a trumpet player, and I've been playing since 5th grade, and I'm a junior now, so
Yeah.
9-10 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow, that's a track record. Yeah, that's long. Oh my god. What are some cool things that JE2 has been able to accomplish throughout like the difficulties that like COVID has presented? Something that you were like, yeah, we can never do that, but then I don't know, you just kind of were surprised.
I was just surprised that, when he said, we're going to record and we're going to pull all the pieces together, and one of the people that, the students, Ivan, he's fantastic at mixing everything, and
Yeah.
I did not think it would come together so well. Like, I thought they were going to be like, I mean, there's like minor pitch issues sometimes, but like, we'll get another recording in, and it's meshed really well, and I don't know, it just...
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like
Yeah.
solos too. Like,
Mhm.
usually you want to hear like the rhythm section and stuff like that, and the other soloists to bounce back ideas. But I mean, it went really well with that.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome. Yeah.
the fact that we have a lot of talent in
Yeah.
that group. So.
Of course, of course. Talk me through the process of sending in a track to be like reviewed and hopefully selected, so you don't have to do a million takes.
So first, Ivan sends out like a clip track. You know, it has a tempo and the drums. And first we get the rhythm section in, the piano, guitar, and they send in their stuff while the horns are practicing their part and waiting for that track to come out. But as soon as that track comes out, we record our part over it, and then we send it to Dennis. Hopefully, we obviously want to send it like the best we can, but the earlier you send it, the more he can tell you like, okay, this part wasn't good, so like you have time to do it again. So yeah, that's kind of pretty much how we do it. You just send it in, and then it says, I mean, if it's worthy or not.
Yeah. Question: Has he?
It better be worthy.
Has he made you like I guess like get any recording equipment at all, or do people just send in through phones? What's the deal?
Okay. Yeah. So, at first it wasn't really a requirement. People have been doing it during phones. Some people have bought new equipment. He's saying that we probably want to invest in it because since this might happen next semester too.
Yeah,
I mean, for Christmas, it's a Christmas gift or something. It's not required, but like if you want the best sound for the band, I think it's a good investment.
What's one thing you like about taking the semester online, and what's one thing you kind of miss about taking it in person?
So the thing I like, I didn't think I would like, recording myself, it reveals a lot of flaws, which is good. I mean, that's the good part. You don't want to address them sometimes, you get scared. But once you record yourself, it's like, okay, that's what I need to work on. And I like how immediate it is. Like once you're practicing and then you hear it. You hear where you mess up, where it's consistent. So, I mean, it's easy fix after that, once you know. So that's really what I like. And then like obviously the flexibility, like I was able to vote last Thursday, I could just go
awesome.
instead of like being in class and stuff. The thing I miss is definitely the group, the social aspect of it. We have a new trumpet player, a freshman in our group, and I mean it was weird. I had to like text him on Zoom like, hi. Like it's so weird. It's so weird because you would get more personal, you would meet more people. So I feel for the newer comers because it's like, how do I socialize if I'm on remote? So it's definitely different.
Do you have any tricks to stay like motivated and happy throughout the quarantine? What do you do?
Musically is definitely listening to other people. Really just when you hear other people do better than you. I mean, that's to me.
No, I mean, obviously,
when you're hearing other people, it's like, okay, I need to, do better.
Yeah. No, that's a great way to think about it. As long as it isn't like
so try to get that. Yeah, social stuff, feedback. I have roommates that are musicians too. When I'm hearing them practice, it's like, okay, I need to practice.
Yeah, it's my time. Okay.
Yeah, so that's really the big motivation for me.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Eloquently said, of course. Well, it was a pleasure having this chat with you and getting to know more about how JE2 is adapting to the struggles that coronavirus is presenting. It seems like you guys are well equipped and you have a bunch of friendly faces, so I feel like you're going to be fine. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me.
Thank you so much for wanting to talk to me.
Of course. Have a beautiful day.
My name is Ryan Dillahay, and I play guitar in Jazz Ensemble 2, which is the kind of virtual remote ensemble this semester. So yeah.
How many tracks have you guys done this semester?
We've done a total of 4 so far, working on our 5th.
So take me through like your guitar recording process, because I know some people have microphones, some people might DIY it if they're not used to that kind of thing.
Yeah, right. I think that's one of the challenges of this virtual ensemble is not everyone has the same gear and the same experience with it. But I'm lucky enough I actually have an audio interface here. It's a Focusrite. So my process starts, before I get to any of that, I usually print out the music so I can make notes, stuff like that, and I shed it for a few days so that I'm not spending so much time in the recording, aspect of it, just doing stuff over and over again. But then once I get it pretty good and I'm ready to start recording, I'll boot up Ableton Live and I bring in Ivan's drum track and I just follow along with the music and play my part in.
Okay, that seems pretty simple.
Yeah, there's really not too much of a process to it, but I think that's because I've had a little bit of experience recording myself.
So what were the biggest hurdles to overcome with this big adjustment as far as coronavirus?
Well, so there's kind of like a couple, and they kind of vary in size. So I think one of the biggest hurdles is like just having to rely on yourself for things like dynamics and just kind of how you're playing, because the energy and everything all has to come from you when you're just recording by yourself with the drum track even. There's not necessarily that same feeling as having a whole band there. And then I think another big hurdle is really just the level of, precision you have to have when you're playing now, because in a live situation, mistakes will come and go, but with this whole recording thing, it's printed, so if you don't fix it, it's going to be there forever. It's not like a live situation where you just kind of have to let mistakes slide. Not that they're okay, but you can't get caught up in it. But with recording, it's so easy to just get tiny details and trying to figure everything out. So it's kind of an interesting challenge to get something to where it's really good, and then just be able to let it go, and say like, this is it.
Yeah, of all the genres, jazz is, especially jazz in school, it's definitely based around like live performance and live playing, right? So it's got to be a huge change.
It's good though, because I think it's forcing us to kind of approach the music differently, So, entering a playing situation, you might be relying on any number of external factors to make it a good situation. You might be thinking about, well, what's the drummer going to do? Or what's whoever's accompanying me, what are they going to do? What's the audience going to do? But I think that this sort of situation where we're all isolated is kind of forcing us to rely on ourselves for that kind of stuff. Like our sense of time has to come from us. Our sense of, staying where we are in the form of whatever tune we're playing has to come from us. And just the energy and the inspiration. We kind of have to be self-inspired in these really isolated times. And so I think, ultimately, that's a good thing. That's one of the benefits of it.
Yeah, and it could improve your playing overall. You never know when you guys come back and play live.
Yeah, I think it probably will.
Where do you see jazz music heading and the landscape of jazz? Within college, probably, but yeah, within a college landscape and then just in general.
Kind of what we've been doing and what I've seen a lot of other people doing. Like there's a lot of professional big bands that are doing the same kind of type of thing with a digital remote ensemble. And I think that has a place. Like I think before that was kind of a cool project people would do, but now I think that's going to become more commonplace, Mm-hmm. And I feel like maybe there'll be a little bit more of a developed, I don't know, like online infrastructure of jazz music, because, yeah, like you're saying, live music really is kind of the main channels through which you'll experience a lot of this stuff. So I think where it's heading is probably just being more accessible to a lot of people, because there's not that many big band concerts you can go to, like especially if you're not in a music kind of area. So I think that's where it's headed, is just more accessibility, getting it out to more people. This whole period has definitely shown us the importance of technological literacy and just being able to like have the ability to get a part and record it and send it out. I think, yeah, it's definitely reinforced the importance of being able to do that.